Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Badillo. In this podcast, I will be speaking to you under the topic work cell optimization. What comes to your mind when you think of a work cell? For many, a work cell is a workstation or a production line in an organization. However, a work cell goes beyond the limitations of a production setting and beyond the sequential arrangements of resources in a manufacturing environment. A work cell is any workspace. A work cell can be any place where information, raw materials, services, equipment, people, and a process interact with the goal of improving process flow and eliminating waste streams. If you really think about it, a company, a church, an organization are made up of multiple work cells that, when combined, yield a product or a service to the end consumer. An example of a typical work cell is a production line in a company. A production line is a work cell because it engages people flow, information flow, raw materials flow, inspection flows, and process flows. In other words, the interaction of the bill of material, procedures, work instructions, forms, exhibits, records, the work in progress, assembly parts, service kits, gauging equipment, blueprints, machinery, and equipment all interacting with people make up a work cell. Another example of a work cell is an office. In an office, you have the same basic elements of people, information, raw materials, equipment, and a specific process being taken place in that workspace. In a religious institution, the praise and worship teams, altar care teams, ushers, greeters, elders, deacons, security personnel, hospitality, church board members are all work cells because they are operating under an umbrella known as a church. Because the sequence of activities performed in a work cell is extremely important, organizations ensure that each work cell is safe, ergonomically sound, are well supplied, and run without interruptions. In fact, organizations without well organized work cells will undoubtedly encounter problems attempting to operate at efficient production levels. However, if you do have well organized work cells, this will help you lower operating costs, improve your job costs, and increase overall productivity and your return on investment. For this reason, today I want to talk to you about 3 tools you need to consider when establishing a new work cell, and I want to provide 5 counsels as to how to improve the activities within a work cell. The first tool to consider when establishing a work cell is to create a process map of the area. A process map allows an organization to have a visual diagram or a visual overview of how things should flow within a work cell. It provides a visual representation of machines, equipment. It allows you to observe the family products in that work cell and the infrastructure requirements that are much needed in order to have success. By understanding the layout, the step-by-step processes, and the boundaries within that work cell, you can determine what is needed to begin the activities within that work cell and what end results should be attained. In other words, what are my expected deliverables? Lean continuous improvement individuals normally use a high-level diagram called a SIPOC, which stands for Supplier Input Process Output Customers, to make such determinations. But if you're not in a production environment, you can simply use a process map to determine if you can establish a smooth one-piece flow within your work cell. The second tool to consider when establishing a work cell is to establish a 6S program. 6S activities involve sorting, straightening, shining, standardizing, sustaining, and establishing a safe work environment. A 6S program prides itself in having a place for everything and everything in its place. In summary, a 6S program involves establishing a well-organized workspace that is free of clutter, where tools and information are readily accessible and every personnel works free from any hazardous conditions. The third tool to consider when establishing a work cell is to create a high-level value stream map of the workspace. The difference between a process map and a value stream map is that a process map deals with the processes within an organization, whereas a value stream map charts or details the flow of information and raw materials beyond the company's facilities. The value stream map details the time it takes to fulfill a requirement in each process. This can start from the order entry of a purchase order to the shipping of a quality product or service deliverable. Value stream maps take into consideration takt time, line balancing, eliminating non-value added activities, and the reduction of lead times. So now that I have provided three basic tools or programs you can use to organize a new work cell, let me provide you with 5 counsels for your work cell optimization. My first counsel on how to improve a work cell is to provide the most accurate information to your personnel. This means that the information on the purchase order, bill of material, the drawing, work instruction, online databases, website menus, training manuals, procedures, etc. must reflect the current process. Well-established companies use layer process audits or Gemba walks to audit their work cells to ensure the correct revisions are available to their staff. But then again, if you are not a company, you still want to ensure that your training manuals, your brochures, your pamphlets, website information, flyer information, and directories are all up to date. Having the most accurate information is going to prevent you from having a lot of headaches and heartaches down the line. My second counsel on how to improve a work cell is to ensure you have a total predictive or preventive maintenance program. A TPM program is not limited to a production or manufacturing equipment. Going back to the office example, a total predictive or preventive maintenance program can help you identify whether you're having a faulty printer that can cause havoc to the department, whether you're running out of office supplies, working with a dull monitor, working under bad lighting, working with an obsolete computer operating system that can cause huge downtimes to the organization, whether you're working under loud conditions, maybe it's that AC unit that is broken and you have irritated employees. A TPM program can help you identify those beforehand so that your office setting can run smoothly and without interruptions. So then again, a TPM program can help you not only in the maintenance of machines to identify problems that occur before, during, and after, but also to establish a program within every department that will allow them to identify bottlenecks, interruptions, and hurdles that are preventing you from running a smooth work cell. My third counsel on how to improve a work cell is to conduct time studies on how long does it take to perform a specific activity. By recording how long it takes to conduct an activity, one can identify bottlenecks in your organization and assign due countermeasures that can prevent and or eliminate such hindrances. Consider transportation time studies, or how long does it take to deliver raw materials to an assembly line, or what routes can a forklift driver take to reduce their travel time. Consider data entry studies, or how long does it take to deliver or enter information in different platforms. Consider changeover studies. Again, how long does it take to change from one product to another? And finally, consider information time studies. This means that you're going to evaluate how many times do you enter the same information in different platforms. Time studies can help you determine or benchmark the amount of time that is occupied in each work cell. And by doing so, you're able to assign several actions that can reduce the amount of time that is spent in transportation, data entry, changeover, and information data entry activities. My fourth counsel on how to improve a work cell is to train your personnel. Training is a global opportunity and one that needs our urgent attention. Lack of training can cause workplace accidents, low production rates, excessive scrap, and introduce capacity constraints. Lack of training can lead to an individual damaging a piece of equipment, which creates an unsafe environment for everyone. Finally, it also contributes to poor lead times and in some cases an increase in staff turnovers. My fifth and last counsel in order to improve work cell efficiency is to increase communication. At the end of the day, we are working with people, and people need to be well informed of the activities that occur in their work cell, not only during their shift, but the shifts that also follow. For example, good communication can lead to a higher awareness of equipment and/or product deficiencies. An increase in leadership communication can lead to identifying redundant activities and the implementation of best practices. So make it part of your work cell program to have meetings in the morning, during shift changeovers, and during weekend activities in order for clear information to be delivered to your operators, to your staff members, so that they can work in a very efficient manner. With this said, I want to end by stating that if you want work cell optimization, if you want to increase throughput and more efficient startups, you must provide the most accurate information to your personnel. You must ensure good TPM practices are established throughout every department and throughout every work cell. You must conduct time studies in order to eliminate non-value added activities. You must train your staff on a continuous basis. And finally, you must increase communication across all departments and all shifts within your organization. By doing so, you will gain an organizational advantage that will enable you to become a top-of-the-line, more efficient supplier of goods and services for all consumers.